Kiss 106.5.
Let's talk about this. This medical marijuana. This is a big debate at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about it.
Oh my God, up to Sunday night's program last week, there were 2.8 million votes, with 96% of people demanding that medical marijuana be legalized in this country. Now, I'm no expert on the matter myself.
No, you're not.
And I did not see the program, but I have John Caldwell in here to explain, because he's done a lot of research on this, haven't you, John?
Yeah, I have.
How much
guys.
weed have you
Morning.
smoked during this research, John?
Not that type of research, Kyle, no.
Yeah, but didn't you do the research initially to find, an opposing view to this and then couldn't find one?
Yeah, I did. I take on a lot of social issues, and I saw this one, and I saw the first Sunday night program, and I spoke with Helen. She's a friend of mine, Helen Kapelos, and I said, "Give me some. You must have found some reasons against this." And she said, "We didn't find a lot." And I thought, "No, this is. There's got to be something here."
Yep.
So that's what you did. You were on the search to find out the reasons why marijuana shouldn't be legalised in Australia for any reason, medical. or anything.
I wanted to be the devil's advocate. I always like to see both sides of an argument.
Right,
and I didn't actually have an opinion myself. I don't care either way.
Yeah.
But the more I dug, I don't think I've ever researched a topic and found so little evidence opposing it in anything I've ever looked at.
Tell me, if for people like myself who really aren't up on this, tell me why we should legalise it. Why it's so important.
The first time that there was ever a parliamentary inquiry was 36 years ago, and unanimously decided it should be legalised. So for 36 years, there's never been a report to say it shouldn't be. Everything says it is.
Right.
I think it was 2003, Premier Bob Carr said that he supported it, and as quickly as possible he was going to have a trial put in place. It was supported by the Prime Minister then as well, and it just never happened. So over the years this happens, and then I think
typical of stoners, they have great ideas, but then nothing ever happens. This is the best idea ever.
Let's do it. No one does it.
Someone write that down. Forget about. What was that thing where we had a great idea? I can't remember.
Not sure that's where Bob Carr was coming from, but you never know.
But how does it really helps these people that are terminally ill?
Yeah,
right?
if they've got cancer, or if they've got. And it's not just cancer.
No, cancer,
sufferers.
MS, AIDS, Crohn's disease. There was a study in Israel, Crohn's disease, and in every case, it actually put it into full remission in the trial that they did.
Are you joking?
No, that really shocked me, yeah.
And
wow.
Do you reckon the government is not letting marijuana be legalised for medical reasons because there's some sort of kickback from the pharmaceutical companies, or because like a lot of these tablets that people are on for pain, they are very addictive. However, a lot of people think marijuana is addictive. However,
those tablets are more addictive.
However, marijuana is not even really addictive. A lot of people think it is, but it's actually not. Is that right?
You're correct. It's not as addictive as some other things that are actually legal for medical reasons.
Yeah.
So the thing, I think the loophole the government try and rest on is that there is a United Nations treaty that used to say we couldn't use marijuana, but it also said we couldn't use cocaine, morphine, ketamine, which we can use for medical reasons now as well.
I didn't know that either. Is
Me
that
neither.
a doctor can prescribe you cocaine?
It's not like they give you a script and you can go home, but they can use it for medical procedures. So
What for?
They
does
can't give you a couple of bags to go home and say, snort this all weekend, you'll be fine.
Not quite.
There's none of that going on.
Cocaine's used as an anaesthetic, and it's very uncommon these days. But even that struck me as odd. So it was common once years and years ago, and now it's not common. Yet we still haven't passed marijuana. It's astounding.
It's weird.
And some of those other, I guess they call them Class 8 drugs that they can use are lethal. Marijuana's not lethal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the only, I guess, argument that I really did read, and it was from Health Minister Gillian Skinner said, to a cancer patient,
right,
but you can get cancer from it. That was her argument.
But they've already got the cancer.
Yeah.
Oh,
So these
that's
people
a bit unfortunate.
These people are wanting it. So I think the ones that are saying they smoke it, it helps with their symptoms. So the nausea, the vomiting, all of that sort of things. But they're now saying as well that the marijuana oil that they're trying to use, or the cannabis oil, can actually help with fight the disease as well. So
wow.
Well, we're going to open the lines on 131065. Maybe I want those people that are really passionate for or against this, and I know there are going to be people that are against
that say,
it.
It's a gateway drug to harder drugs. It's not really.
Let's hear from both
sides. If you're a stoner,
sides.
you're a stoner. If you're a stoner, you don't just all of a sudden get on the heroin. That just doesn't happen.
Well, we'll take your calls on this. Are you passionately for or passionately against this? We'll take your calls and stick around, John, because we might need your help.
We're supposed to remain neutral.
Yeah, we'll remain neutral.
However, I am leaning to the green side.
I think one of the big concerns, and probably the only thing I could see that they're justifying here, is I guess the supply and demand could be an issue. But there are cases around the world where it's been done well that we could look at. So,
like California, for example, that it cleared their California state debt because it's the biggest crop of California, and all the money goes to the government. So drug dealers aren't getting the money.
Yeah.
The government's getting the money, and it fixed their debt crisis in California.
Yeah, well, even here, that's another level of debate that no one's even touched, and that is the courts are backlogged with minor drug crimes. It's costing us billions of dollars to prosecute these people.
Yeah.
And for what? For something that's really not that dangerous.
Yeah, some kid gets done with a couple of joints in his pocket, and he goes off to the court systems, and that's costing a lot of money.
Sophie's called through. Sophie, you're
Hi,
for
Soph.
it, I'm assuming.
Hi.
What do you reckon?
Well, I'm a registered nurse, and I have looked after a lot of oncology patients and patients who are in chronic pain, and there's nothing else that can be really done for them.
Right.
And they have had marijuana, and it has made such a big difference. They've got a lot more energy. They've got, a better quality of life. The families, say how much better they've been off with it. So.
And it must be tough, though, because someone's going off to score grandma a bag of weed, and that's illegal, and that puts people in
risk.
Jeopardy. Like,
Right.
if your grandmother, if my grandmother needed some weed, I would get it for her, but then I'm placing myself in a high-risk area. A high-risk area of getting done for supplying marijuana to me granny.
Obviously. But you know what? If it can put a smile on those sick patients' faces, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, I know.
I
don't know why people like Doritos haven't got behind it, because the Dorito sales would go through the friggin' roof.
Hey, Kerry's called through. Are you for or against this, Kerry?
Hello, I'm definitely for the legalisation of medicinal cannabis.
Why is that, Kerry?
My son's 15 years old. He suffered with uncontrolled epilepsy since he was 2.5. We've tried 10 different forms of anticonvulsants. We've tried steroid treatments. We've tried ketogenic diets. We've tried IVIG treatments. My son has suffered every day of his life, and he lost full speech. He was unable to take care of himself or anything. And then February this year, we started him on Mulloway's medicinal cannabinoid tincture. His seizures are now down to only 1 a week, where he was having about 2 to 3 a night prior to that.
Wow. Are you joking? So it's made this much of a difference?
It's made a massive difference, and he's able to talk again. He's attending school. He's moving forward academically and socially, and he's a new boy. He's been given a new lease on life.
Now, can I put you on with Dennis? Because Dennis is a pharmacist and he's against it. So, Dennis, explain to Kerry, this mother, why it shouldn't be legalised.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
thanks.
As a pharmacist, I see one potentially bad thing about marijuana is there's abuse. Like, people can potentially abuse a drug.
Right.
There has been a lot of cases where drugs are being on the market, and then the government doesn't really see there's potentially definitely a benefit to certain drugs. But when you start getting people abused or addicted, etc., to it, that's become
the problem is in the form that my son takes it, there is no psychoactive ingredient in it. The THC is so low that my son is actually now alert, whereas before on the conventional drugs that I had him on, and we're talking heavy line drugs like Topamax, Zonegran, Epilim, things like that, he was drugged off his head. He was unable to speak. So he was on constant midazolam. And he's now a healthy boy.
And those other prescribed medications, people abuse those too, Dennis.
Yeah, but Dennis is a pharmacist, so he's thinking, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Unless he wants going to be selling bags across the counter there, his business might go down.
Yeah, the thing is too, though, like, my son had side effects with every treatment that the hospital gave him. There is not one negative side effect since he's used medicinal cannabis, apart from that he's getting better.
That's a real wow, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Should be taken into consideration.
Like Kyle and Jackie O, I don't know if you can actually help Tony Bauer. He's from Mulloway's Medicinal Cannabis, but he's helping over 150 people or children with epilepsy at the moment, I think, but also other people with different ailments.
We're going to get into. We'll get our guys in touch with him and see what his story is.
Yeah, because
it's a great story there.
They're trying to. At the moment, he's
trying to shut him down.
They are. They've got him on a court case for growing it because obviously he doesn't sell it. He gives it away.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, this is what they
free.
spend all this time and money and police resources and all this stuff. What's this guy really trying to do? Help 15-year-old kids or other kids not have epileptic seizures every day. And that's where our attention's going to try and stop someone like that. It's just absolutely absurd.
Billy's called through. Hi, Billy.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, mate.
Good.
What do you reckon about all this?
Well, listen, I used to be very much against it a long time ago, but then I've researched it, and who's the guy on there that's the pharmacist?
John here.
Oh, no, the guy that was the pharmacist.
The
He's
pharmacist.
gone now. Dennis.
Sorry. Yeah, Dennis.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's just a typical reaction from the pharmaceutical side of the argument. Right,
Yeah.
the pharmaceutical mob have got... Because I said, I want to know where I can get this oil now, because my sister's got cancer, and I don't want to see her go. And the thing is, if anybody that's suffering from cancer, epilepsy, or some of the other diseases, right, they're going to be for this. And I don't care that it's illegal. That's not my fault that it's illegal. But if it's good and if it's going to help my sister, then I'm going to find out where I can get it, and I'll get it. Yeah. And again, what I come back to, the pharmaceutical companies, they hold a gun to the government's head because they pay them money. And the thing is, it was like 6 years ago, you couldn't even get apricot kernels. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No,
right?
I don't know what that is.
No.
Right, apricot kernels has got a cancer-fighting property in it that's called B17. Now, 6 years ago, it was really, really hard to get. Now you can get them in some of the health stores.
Yeah, but the reason you can probably get them is because people stand up and say, and yell out and carry on about it. And then people, it forces the government to have a look at these things properly.
And what's amazing about the change of mind, if you did watch that Sunday Night 7 program, two of the fathers that have changed their mind, one was in the Defence Force, one was the head of the drugs unit. And he's
really?
And he was totally against it. He spent his whole life fighting this until his son got sick and he saw the benefits.
It does seem like people who have actually experienced this for themselves, like mums that are calling through, they can really see the benefit.
Well, he's on the other side now. He says, I'm now a criminal because I have to get this for my son.
Right.
And then, again, on that, not is it just backing up the court systems, but one of the mothers who's got a 3-year-old son was saying she can't give her son this because she's been told docs will take her son away.
Oh,
so,
right.
loving home, beautiful family. They've got monitors all around their house watching their son's every move because they're so protective of him. But if you give him this, you'll have your son removed from you, which is just outrageous.
That's ridiculous.
It does seem crazy.
Peter's rung through. Hi, Peter.
How you going, mate?
Good, buddy.
Just going back to what he was just saying, in terms of docs and things like that, mate, if you've got a family feeding their kids pot or drugs or weed or whatever you want to call it, mate, docs should be removing kids straight off the bat. It's no different to feeding your kid, anything.
Why is that all right, but these other ones that make them zombies all day long and don't really do anything, why is that okay? Because the government says it's okay?
Not necessarily. I mean, mate, I see the side effects. Like I said, I won't go into what I do for work, but I see the side effects of what drugs can do, especially, marijuana and all that. And people are going to abuse it. They're going to smash
but
it
what
out.
does marijuana do?
Marijuana, what do they call it? Dope. It makes you a dope.
Yeah, right. But
so does a lot of those other medications, but this one's actually working for a lot of these kids.
Look, you know what? A lot of people I've dealt with have said, oh, no, it's for medical use and so forth. And you know what? It does work to a degree, but it's got to be controlled.
Yeah.
Okay, the moment people start using it, it's just going to be abused. As, like, for example, people that were on heroin now go to methadone clinics to sort of take them off that drug, but now they're addicted to methadone.
Yeah.
What's stopping someone from becoming an addict to marijuana?
Well, the marijuana, didn't you say, John, that marijuana is not actually that addictive?
It's not that addictive, and it's got far less side effects than a lot of these others. I guess what's your argument then as to how we've legalised for medical purposes the use of things like Oxycontin and morphine?
Mate, a lot of the Oxycontin and morphine and the higher-end sort of drugs are basically on the market to people say, they relax them. Some people don't actually have any issues and they're just trying to get it on the black market.
But that's what we're saying.
Them.
Everyone abuses these prescription pills, and they're all available. And they're not.
To me, marijuana and alcohol are the same sort of level. And alcohol's fine; it's taxed, and the government has no problem with that. Alcohol way more addictive than marijuana. Alcohol fuels a bit of violence. You've never seen two stoners punching on ever in your life.
No, but I've seen stoners driving and take out a family of 4.
You've actually seen it?
Yeah.
Are you a police officer?
I see.
Are you ambulance?
I'm not saying anything. They can get me into strife, but at the end of the day, mate, I'm just telling you, I've seen the effects on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't. You can't be driving. You can't be driving under any sort of substance. So I agree with that part of it for sure.
I think also we just want to clarify, these parents aren't like lighting up a joint for their 3-year-old kids. They're putting a few drops into their bottle or whatever. It's such a tiny amount, and it's making a huge difference. And they're claiming that it's definitely keeping their children alive.
Well, there's definitely for and against it for sure.
Thank you for coming in this morning and helping us out with this. We'll continue this conversation on Facebook.
I'm saying I'm for it.
Yes, we got that, Kyle. Loud and clear.
Kiss 106.5.